to have to unwind some of your deals?
That's not very accurate to say, because the law probably requires a certain kind of deal seek for approval, right? For that particular deal, we did not seek for approval in time, and it doesn't mean that we had monopoly practices. The fine was not for that. And I also think it's not right for the government to block every deal, right? Certain kind of liquidity is also good for innovation. You just cannot do monopoly things.
Are there steps that you're taking now to adjust to the new regulatory environment here?
Yeah, if we do a deal of large scale, we will seek for approval in advance.
The government is also encouraging companies to open up their data. How do you think that is going to play out? Has that started yet, that drive?
It's very much in line with our belief. We run a lot of open platforms for autonomous driving. It's Apollo, right? For AI in general, we have Baidu Brain, which is also open. We have PaddlePaddle, the most popular Chinese deep learning framework. Those are also open source. We want a lot of people to use our platform. We're open to everyone. In a lot of cases, it's free for them. It's not only good for the society, it's also good for us. We get a lot of feedbacks.
A lot of the focus has been on Alibaba and Ant and Tencent. Do you feel like Baidu is better off in some ways, that you're slightly sheltered from this?
Well, I can't speak for them, but like I mentioned, we like openness. We want to share data with other partners, and we think that's good for our technology too.
Another big topic here that involves technology, a lot of debate online about this, is the 996, the almost more than 70-hour work week that many technology companies and their employees go through and is the reality for many people. Do you think that push, that drive, the amount of hours that people have to put into their work in tech companies here, do you think that has to change? Do you think that needs to be rethought, 996?
It depends. If the employees are voluntary, I think that's okay, especially for those young people. If they want to become more successful, they need to work harder than their peers, right? This is just natural. But if from a company perspective, if you demand them to do 996, I think that's wrong. I think employees have the right to work and to rest and to enjoy life. It's their choice. And at Baidu, we have this kind of philosophy, right? It's really up to you. If you want to work harder, we welcome that. If you want to enjoy life, that's okay too.
I want to switch focus really to you and your future. We've seen some changes at the top of some of the big tech companies here in China in terms of leadership, some big names stepping down, making way for others. Is there a succession plan at Baidu?
I always wanted to find someone who can replace me as CEO. But in the meantime, I do enjoy my current work. I like technology. I like to see all the changes happen. I like to see our technology can contribute to the society. So whether I'll be the CEO or not, probably it's not that important. It's just as long as I'm doing things that I like, I will be happy. But having said that, I increasingly spend a lot of time these days to work with the Baidu people so that their capability keep improving, especially in the innovation front. I think I need to train them. I need to inspire them to become more innovative. That's over the past year or so, I spent a lot of time on that.
Okay, so you've been looking for a CEO. Who is your number two, though, Robin?
I wouldn't rank our executives from number 2 to number 10. They're all very talented, hardworking, and has big potential. I want them all to grow and become better and more successful.
But you're in no rush to retire anytime soon, it sounds like.
If I have to stay on the CEO position, I will.
Robin Lee's ambitious bets on chips and driverless cars has positioned his company to reap the rewards of the next technological revolution. But competition is intense. US-China rivalry could upend the sector, and China's regulations, well, they can change on a dime. Robin Lee will need all the skill and luck he can muster to cement Baidu's position at the top of China's AI table. That was a conversation with Baidu CEO Robin Lee on Bloomberg Television. I'm Tom McKenzie.
A year ago, the coronavirus pandemic crept into the United States after taking a devastating toll across the globe. The early U.S. outbreak was centered in Washington state, just miles away from Microsoft's headquarters. There, CEO Satya Nadella made the call that a significant number of the company's 168,000 employees could work from home. Now, his focus is shifting to not just keeping employees safe, but keeping them engaged with the rise of Microsoft's chat product, Teams, and a new offering called Viva. This as Microsoft stock has continued to rise, up more than 500% during his 7 years at the helm, after languishing for more than a decade under his predecessors. He shared this key guidance with us 3 years ago.
It's not about changing everything, it's about changing what needs to be changed, and therein lies the trick, so to speak.
Since then, Microsoft's market cap has crossed $1 trillion, now closing in on $2 trillion. But with big tech scrutiny ramping up in Washington and rising tech competition in China, Nadella's next 7 years at Microsoft will be just as critical. Joining me on this edition of Bloomberg Studio 1.0, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. Satya, thank you so much for doing this. It's so great to have you.
No, thank you so much, Emily, for having me. It's great to be with you.
The pandemic has underscored the power of technology in helping companies and governments and families get through this, and Microsoft Teams has been a huge part of that and has been an incredible growth story. Give us a snapshot of just how much Teams has grown through the pandemic.
Because we talk a lot about remote work, but the reality is more than 50% of the workforce, whether it is in healthcare or in retail or critical manufacturing, had to be at the site. And so one of the things that really got upended across industries was how do you connect people? So if you have someone on the front lines and then an engineer perhaps working from home, how do you connect? So the team's growth was not just about knowledge workers collaborating, but it was in fact really helping frontline workers and knowledge workers come together to keep business continuity and our society and our economy going. In fact, I shudder to